Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, T Wealth Codes. My name is Steven, and I'm here today to share some exciting news about something I actually came up with. Uh, I'm thrilled to kick off something very special called Python Learning Track. If you are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe to this particular channel. And make sure you click on the notification bell so that you'll be getting the latest updates about my videos that I'll be dropping. So over the next few weeks, we'll be embarking on a journey through Python, from the basic concept to the advanced concepts. So whether you are someone who knows how to code or you're someone who is an aspiring Python developer, it is fine. This particular video will take you from zero level to hero level. If you're someone who is also curious about data science and machine learning, this track is actually designed for you. Now, in the beginning level, we are going to lay the foundation, covering everything from the introduction to Python, from the overview to the introduction to control structures, functions, fundamentals, data structures, and also from the intermediate level, we are going to get insights for advanced data handling, diving into object-oriented programming, and also mastering error handling and models. But that's not all. Our advanced level will take you to the next level with some advanced libraries, web development basics, and also your final project to showcase your skills. So, if you are ready to unlock the power of Python, grab your favorite coding beverage, get your popcorn, sit back, and let's dive into the Python learning track. Now, without further ado, let's start with our first section, which is Python, the overview of Python and installation. Now, what is Python basically? I don't want to bore you too much with, the history of Python, blah, 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 blah. But you can also see that Python is actually developed by Guido van Rossum in the late 80s, and it has actually evolved into one of the most influential programming languages, known for its readability and simplicity. So basically, Python is actually favored by developers for its clean syntax and it's actually easy to use compared to other programming languages that most of them are statically typed. Most of them are quite complex, but Python comes in like a baby genius. Yeah, I always call Python a baby genius. It's a baby, but it's a genius. Um, in terms of readability, Python 6 stars is designed to be easily readable and it requires fewer lines of code compared to other languages. So, for example, if they ask you to print a pyramid with numbers of 1 to 10 in terms of diamonds, if you're trying to do that in Java or C Sharp, trust me, it's quite complex. But in Python, it's quite simple. You can easily write fewer lines of code to achieve greater algorithm. Simplicity, Python is quite simple. It emphasizes on straightforwardness and uncompleted coding. You really don't know what Java is. You don't want to know. Then also extensibility. The language is actually highly extensible, allowing developers to integrate Python with other languages seamlessly. So that's one of the great things about choosing Python. Now, Python has actually made a lot of significant contributions to various fields. In terms of data science, we have Python. In terms of machine learning, where you use your TensorFlow, your Keras, you do the predictions and stuff like that. Also, automation, we have it in artificial intelligence. We have it in Internet of Things. Wow, this is very interesting one. We also have it in application development. We can also use it for web development and some other things that I may not have mentioned. So Python is actually very much robust. You can use it in several applications in different fields. Also, now let's understand the foundational elements, which is actually crucial for effective programming. Python basically, when you're talking about variables and dynamic typing, Python enables dynamic typing. allows variable types to change during runtime. It is not actually statically typed, so it's dynamically typed. Common data types you can see in Python are the integer, the float, the string, some other data types, which is Boolean and the likes. Then also the basic operations. So Python also supports standard arithmetic operations, multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, modulus, and the likes. It also provides, in terms of string operation, we have concatenation, slicing, enhancing text processing in Python. There's list and collection, which are versatile data structures for holding multiple elements. There's control flow statements, the if else, the for loop, the while loop, and the likes. Then we have functions, which are code blocks that are actually built to be reusable and also enhance readability. Then we also have modules and libraries. So all these things are things that we are going to actually come across in the long run. So you don't have to worry yourself too much. You are going to, as we go on this Python track, we are going to be uncovering them as time goes on. So how do we get Python running? So first thing you need to do is to set up Python on your machine. You can actually choose a distribution, a setup in terms of when you are trying to have some applications that help you get it running. In terms of CPython or Anaconda, I would always recommend Anaconda. Maybe because I use it too much or most times, or when I started, I actually use Anaconda, but I'm going to recommend Anaconda. You can also download Python directly from the official website. You can just go to, maybe in the next slide, I'm going to show you with the link where you can actually download Python. You run the installer, you execute it, and you follow up the screen instructions. Click on next, click on next, click on next till you have it running. Then you also set up some virtual environment. So you use virtual environment to isolate project dependencies and to maintain a clean development environment. We will see that in the long run. Now, choosing your IDE, there are several kind of IDEs, but it depends on which one you want to use. So there are some popular IDEs for Python. We have the PyCharm, we have the Jupyter Notebook, and the Visual Studio Code. Any one of them is actually good. There's also Spider and the likes, but I would recommend, as a beginner, as a starter, you can actually use Jupyter Notebook. It's quite simple, and but if you are someone who is a little bit flexible, you can also go with I would recommend Visual Studio Code. It's lightweight and it's extremely powerful, where you can also do some version control on it and the likes. But for a beginner, I think we'll be once we are coding, we are going to be using different kind of IDEs, so you can get used to the kind of IDEs that you would love to work with. What's the benefit of using an IDE? Of course, it helps you for code auto completion. So sometimes when you're typing your code and there are some things you might not get to know all the things that you need to type, you might not get to know all the things that you need to put together, but these things come in quite easy. One, you can just use your auto completion. Also, debugging tools, it helps you to debug your codes before you actually publish it or something, and it helps you to integrate with version control. So in terms of tools like Git, Bitbucket, and the likes, when you are coding and you want to save your codes to repositories, IDEs helps you to do that connection. So in terms of when you save your code, you can actually just push your code to a repo where you have several teams working on a particular code and the likes. So that works fine. Yeah, so we're using the Python. You can go to python.org to download Python. You can go to anaconda.com/download to download Anaconda. Stack Overflow also. Now, I'm going to be talking about Stack Overflow and Reddit. So, these are sites where you can actually get answers to most of your questions. So, as a developer or as a data scientist, you are working on a project, you are working on a particular task, you might get frustrated about you trying to create an algorithm or trying to debug something. So these are places where you can easily find answers to your questions. Any question you ask, you might definitely get because somebody else have actually faced that particular problem before. And once they solve the problem, they actually post it on that site. So I would recommend Stack Overflow and Reddit to always get your. So whenever you are stuck with a code, make sure you just visit there and post your problem there. You will always see an answer. Yeah. So in conclusion, well, Python is popularity and versatility makes it valuable tool for developers across all domains. So as you embark, you can also go to the Python official Python documentation to check the comprehensive and detailed documentation of Python. And also you can actually join a Python community where you can engage with vibrant Python developers and just like the Stack Overflow and Reddit also. So yeah, that's the end of the slide. This is the references of things I used to create the slide, the pictures, I give credit to them. Now let's move on to how we're going to download. So if you want to go and download Python, what you need to do is you go to python.org. So I think I have the link posted here before. Yeah, so we go to python.org. Yeah, so python.org, we have, you can see where you can actually do. So I actually have Python running on my system already. You can actually just download Python from here. So you can click on download. You can see this. I'm using a Mac, so sometimes it automatically just detects the kind of system you are using. I'm actually using a Mac, so it sees that this is a Mac already. So you can see for Windows, for Mac, and so other for other platforms. So which is cool. So you can just click on the latest version. But specifically, I already have Python running. So how would you know if you have Python running? Once you download Python, you come to your terminal and say python dash dash version. So here you can see it tells you the version of Python. So I have 3.11.5 version of Python running on my system already. So I can actually run a Python program. Then also for Anaconda, so for Anaconda, you go to the anaconda.com slash download. You can see you have Anaconda. This is Anaconda's site. You can actually download it. So you can see here, it's automatically detected that this is a Mac. So you can click on download for Mac, Intel, or the M1, M2, M3. So I'm using the M2. So I already have it running on my system. You click on download and you follow up the steps. Once you are done installing, you open Anaconda. So this is how Anaconda Navigator looks like. So you can see it has different IDEs. So this is Data Spell Toolbox. Yeah. So this is Jupyter Lab. This is Jupyter Notebook. So this is what I'm going to recommend you use for if you're actually a beginner. It's quite very simple to use. This is Spider. This is VS Code and the like. So it comes with a lot of IDEs that you can actually run with Python. You can have the environment. So also have different kind of environments where you actually install libraries. So you can create several environments where you have a button to create environment. This is the base root. It always comes as a default. So I actually created a separate environment for running my AI programs, machine learning programs, TensorFlow and the likes. So I created a new environment. So whenever I want to run, do a deep machine learning, what I do is I just switch in the environment to TensorFlow and the TensorFlow environment, and I have it also. Here you want to install packages, you can come to where you have the installed. There's install. So install is showing me all the packages I have running on my system currently. But you have all. So you can also search packages, you can install packages, you can remove packages, and that will be fine. So once you have these two running on your system, you are just one step away to becoming a Python developer. It's as simple as that. So you have Anaconda running, you have Python running, then you can actually move forward to where we want to go to. So I already have it running. So as you can see, once you download it, just follow the prompts that you have on your system. Click on next, click on next, click on next. So you have it running in your system. You have this interface. Now sometimes you will see when you have you see this installed. You might have installed in all of them. So it means that once you have it launched, you need to actually install them before you actually use them. So when you get to install them, you see that there's what we call launch here. Launch means you've actually installed it already. So if I click on launch, it opens a kernel and we have the Jupyter running already. So this is good. So we can continue to work with whatever we are doing. So this is the interface of what you're going to see when you're actually running Python. So that's it about this video. So please don't forget to click on like, subscribe, and share this video. In the next video, we are going to be talking about the introduction of Python. So we have done with the overview. We already know what Python is. We will know how we can actually install Python. So I'm going to make a video again on how the steps, because some people might still find it difficult to install Python and Anaconda. So I'm going to make another video for that separately, for the installation process and how we can keep it running. But basically, this, I think we are done. So what we need to do is just to move in directly to the interface and start coding. So thank you so much, guys, for your support. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, do not forget to share this video. We'll see you again in the next video. Thank you.